Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and today we're looking at Power Rangers Zeo from ThreeZero, and this is Zeo Ranger 5 Red, aka Tommy Oliver, who is probably most people's favorite Power Ranger, including myself. As one who came in right at the beginning, it was hard to not enjoy when Tommy was on the screen. And I really did like the shift from White Ranger to Red Ranger. I think it felt more, I think he was more comfortable as a leader by this point rather than before. So we got the promo shots on the back, which look pretty darn cool. And then we have nice mint inbox collection side here. And then if we pull this up at a hitch, you can see everything that is in the box, very nicely done. And I'm already very excited because he looks absolutely gorgeous. And there we go, all the way around. The usual stuff that you would expect from these sets by now. So let's get Tommy out of the packaging and start having a look. So, as expected, he looks very similar to the other male bodies we have already seen. There is nothing significant in change other than the fact it is Tommy Oliver, aka the Red Zeo Ranger, which makes me very happy to finish off this series with. Please note, I will do a final video where I have all the Rangers together and I have them combine their weapons. So make sure you're subscribed and stuff like that. If you're not already, thank you to those that are already subscribed. I don't usually do that during a video, but today it was, I don't know, the right time to do it. So the usual thing is, the start looks pretty cool. It's sort of got a little bit wavy there, but I think they've done a really, really good job. Got the nice holsters, and then the beautiful belt there, which, as you can see, looks as stunning as always. And the detail is absolutely beautiful on the fabric as well. That is always a very important thing. And then you've got a mix. So you've got the fabric side, you've got the really soft side, and then you've got a sort of harder pieces in terms of the cuffs, the hands, the boots down here. So you got some nice hard plastic here just to complement it. Nice shoe prints there, FigZero going on there. You can take the belt buckle off if you decide to, but I don't see any other way you can get this costume other than if you are going to break the seam, which I think only if you are very talented are you going to be doing that, I suspect, to achieve something. And then once again, you got this nice shiny head sculpt that looks absolutely gorgeous. So articulation, once again, the big important thing is you got to be careful with your fabric, because you put too much stress on your fabric, you're going to rip it. This is £100 figure down the drain. I'm not sure how far warranty will cover that such a thing, if that makes sense. So you can get this on to go all the way around. We're not going to do that. We're not going to risk it. You got a double on here, which you can achieve quite nicely. Swivel on the wrist. Be careful. I think they've done a really good job with the wrists to get to the point where there's no longer a risk of them breaking, but they do pop off on a regular basis. He has a nice ab crunchy crunch, and then you can obviously kick. Nice ratchet in there. Oh, you can move out. Once again, you could probably get this up here, but I'm not going to try it. And then you've got the double on there. And then some movement on the feet. And the feet can pop off quite nicely as well, if you intend to do something. So, now that articulation is out of the way, let's have a look at him with some of his weapons. So, the first hands that I'm showing you are the fists. We will move to a trigger hand and a sword holding hand. So once again, the guns and the sword for, I guess, those first rounds when you find some cogs are there, and they are very, very nice. They're very, very smart, and I really do truly like what they've done. And they look, I've always said that FigZero, when it comes to weapons, they are always spot on. I've never had a weapon that I thought that doesn't seem right. Now, my favorite part of this is going to be interesting because I'm doing it on camera. So you just pop the hand out. Let's just do that gently. See how easy that came out compared to what used to happen. So they clearly realize they must have had loads of things go wrong with hands, because that's the only way that we can do it. We're going to turn him around like that. Bring in his gun, like so. And then what we're going to do, oh, and take that off. Didn't mean to do that so quickly. So we take the big one off, you slide this in quite nicely. And these are the things that I never do on camera. Not sure whether it's because I'm lazy or because I feel like I'm not going to be good at it, because I feel like these things should be flowing and sometimes they don't flow. However, I've done this enough times that this seems to flow very, very nice. So maybe it just comes down to laziness because I don't practice enough. So the best bit of this, there's a magnet on these bits and it just sits in there very, very nicely. And you've got a beautiful rifle, which they used on numerous times on the show, and it looks absolutely wicked, right? I think that does a really, really good job. And we've got a posing hand in there as well, which I think is absolutely grand. So we're going to move to already the big finale, which is, did he used to call it a power sword? Maybe it's just Zeo 5 sword. I don't know. I don't actually remember. And this is my favorite season, by the way. So I always seem to overlook weapons and stuff. They just happen on the show. Maybe I just also reviewing these making me want to go and get out that box set and damn well watch it again. So anyway, let's bring in that power sword. So first of all, I think I'm going to approach it from this angle. So I wanted to do him sort of holding the hilt and sort of, he sort of, it's almost like he's a Jedi with it like this, like he's got a lightsaber and he's ready to use it. Now, the thing that I think is interesting and perhaps new is they've not just given us a full-blown sword. They've given us a little baby sword, just like a dagger. So, and then they've got the full-time sword as well, separate, so you can take it apart and essentially do what you want. I actually like it like this, but I do not remember it in the show working like that, where he holds the hint and the sword comes flying out. But I've got to admit, I think that would have been pretty darn cool. The detail on this thing is phenomenal. Now, you can't really see there. I will try and show it off outside this before I finish. But that is absolutely stunning. Nice detail. And as always on the weapons, it's got the little logo with all the sigmas. So we sort of ends up with this little pokey knife, and I'm not sure what the purpose is, if that makes sense. It's the only thing that's thrown me off. I also think it's pretty cool. I think if it had been shattered, like snapped, that would have been cool. That would have been absolutely phenomenal, because there's so many things we could have done with that, right? I'm going to change, I will change the sword on camera, but I just want to change the poses that I want to achieve with it. So I'm going to do that off camera. And then just in terms of what I was saying, I just want to show you the hilt, if I can actually get it off. And sometimes when I do things on camera, it goes really, really well, and sometimes not so well. So you see there, the nice little detail all along that handle, which I think is great. One thing I will say is, when you are putting the hands back on, be careful about this bit, because I feel like, because I'm trying to push it in, I was probably putting pressure on this. My worry is that eventually, if you put too much pressure on this piece will snap off it. So I just wanted to raise what I've learned when I'm doing these things, because I'm not perfect. I made mistakes previously with ThreeZero, so that's not that sharp, but there is a ping to it. I think I just need to move him back a little bit. So very nicely, okay, just drop that in there, and the hand's already popped off. Let's just get that on, back on there. There we go. There we go. And there he is holding that sword. And I'll take the camera off. That looks absolutely phenomenal. I am absolutely impressed with that. This whole wave has actually been a joy. I think the only ever issue that I had was with the Gold Ranger staff. The pieces just I'm pinging, but that was about it. So other than that, this has been a joy. Every review's been a joy. I've never had any major concerns when I've been doing things, which is important because with FigZero, throughout Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and in particular after that, I always worried about those hands. That was my biggest thing, but it's gone away. I'm no longer concerned. I'm changing these with ease, and it's no longer a drama. So, and this figure is absolutely, I'm so impressed with this. This is absolutely stunning. So thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you everybody that subscribed to my channel. I really do appreciate you folks a great deal. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm sure at some point there'll be more Power Rangers on the way. Make sure you look after yourself. Very important these days. As always, embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.